All right, a quick pop quiz. If I was to ask you what's the #1 selling electric vehicle maker in the world, you'd probably say Tesla, and you would have been right up until last year. But in 2025, China's BYD overtook Tesla as the world's top-selling EV manufacturer, outselling Teslas by 600,000 vehicles. Paul Gover is from Wheels Magazine, and he joins me now. Paul, thanks for coming on the program. I guess I've got two questions for you. Why the decline in Tesla sales? And second, what's behind the surge in BYD? Is the Chinese brand genuinely dominating the market, or is it doing so artificially, helped along by heavy Chinese state subsidies?
Taking your second question first, of course they're being helped along by Chinese subsidies. They're also helped along by the fact that China is not a free and open market in the way that Australia is, so it's much easier to get people to buy electric cars over there. If your choice between an electric car or an electric car and a BYD or a BYD, it's pretty obvious you're going to go well. Now, they are going very well globally. They're going very well in Australia as well, not necessarily just with electric cars. On the other front, Tesla basically selected reverse gear last year. After the election stuff in the USA, Elon Musk's personal following amongst Tesla buyers has dropped. But the other thing, and this is more significant actually, is that Tesla used to be an outlier. It was the electric car brand. Then we had Polestar, but now suddenly everybody's piled in, and other manufacturers are making much more headway, particularly companies out of China. So Tesla has gone backwards, and they've gone backwards for a whole bunch of reasons. Their resale value is not great, as we're seeing in Australia. Elon Musk is not particularly popular, but also BYD has surged.
So I'm interested in what this growing dominance in relation to Chinese EVs means for Australian consumer choice. Obviously, you've got governments pushing EV mandates and emissions targets that favour Chinese imports. We're due to see a lot more Chinese brands in Australia this year.
Yeah. Right at the minute, by the last count, we had another 7 new brands arrive in Australia last year. So the current total is 67 individual brands. Why is that significant? Well, let me tell you, in Australia, we buy around 1.2 million cars a year, 67 brands. In the USA, 14.5 million cars a year, 46 brands. So Australia is just about the most open and competitive market in the world. And traditionally, new brands getting established. It started with Toyota, the Chinese, then it was Chinese, what I'm talking about. It's the Japanese, then the Koreans. We actually have Mahindra out of India making some inroads in Australia with big plans as well. But obviously, China is huge, huge capacity, but also because of the tariff situation in the USA, they have excess capacity now, and it's much easier to put them on a boat to Australia than to deal with getting them into the USA. So the Chinese brands are coming on. But there's one area that you're slightly incorrect. It's not just about electric cars. Chinese brands are bringing diesel cars here. They are bringing four-wheel drives here. They are bringing hybrids here. They are bringing plug-in hybrids here. So if you look at a brand like BYD or the other big one in the top 10 brands, which is GWM, you find that they're replicating the sort of range of vehicles that Toyota has. And Toyota has just celebrated 23 straight years as #1 in Australia. So it's pretty easy. I think they're copying Toyota's homework, if I'm being honest.
So if we've got more choice and presumably cheaper vehicles, is there a downside for the Australian consumer?
Yes, there is, because there are going to be more expensive vehicles. So we're having a split at the moment. So basically, companies that are startups, if you like, and particularly ones that have an EV bias, they're able to drop the prices on their starting cars. So we've now got cars, electric cars that are price parity with combustion cars in the $25,000 range. But what's happening, Australians are buying still in record numbers dual cab pickup trucks. And what's happening is those are not particularly efficient. Their prices are going to go up. The Toyota Land Cruiser, its price is going to go up. So we're in a really, really turbulent time. Nobody really knows the answer because as yet the federal government, although they've set targets and they've told us what they want us to do, the car companies are actually reacting to what people are buying, not what the government's telling them to do. And they're going to have to adjust their pricing. They're already putting prices up. A thing called the Ford Mustang, which is a V8 powered two-door sports car, price went up $5,000, mostly because of the impost of the of the new vehicle emissions standard.
Oh, Paul, what I hear you saying is the cars we don't want are getting cheaper and the cars we'd really like are getting more expensive. I appreciate you filling us in tonight. Thanks so much.